groups like rural communities or marginalized folks can actually get registered. The playbook is almost identical to what we did for Uganda. Focus on real inclusion, fixing barriers for the people who get left out, and making sure the system doesn't gatekeep basic rights. Plus, there are active civil society groups there we could potentially connect with. Nigeria is also tempting because they're doing a massive MOSIP migration, like Uganda, but Kenya feels closer in scale and timing. Want to go with Kenya? Or should we look at Ethiopia's FIDA system instead?
That's a great breakdown. I think, given the timing and scale, Kenya might indeed give us a more immediate path. The groundwork from Uganda gives us a good tempo. Exactly, and Kenya's timeline
Maisha Namba is the move. It's basically Uganda's situation all over again, rolling out a new digital ID system with biometrics, a unique lifelong number assigned at birth, and it's getting tied to more and more services. The same problems are popping up: exclusion of rural folks, border communities, people with disabilities, and historically marginalized groups like Nubians, weak public participation, and real worries about data privacy and a centralized database. There are already active civil society groups on the ground: Hakina Sharia Initiative, Katiba Institute, Nubian Rights Forum, Kenya Human Rights Commission, fighting these exact issues in court and through advocacy. Perfect people to connect with. Our Uganda playbook translates almost one-to-one here. Want to sketch a quick proposal outline focused on inclusion and meaningful consultation, or should we look at one more country for comparison first?
I think a proposal outline would be a great next step. We already have so much of the groundwork from the Uganda experience, so we can leverage that. I'd focus on a few core pillars. First, real in-person outreach to rural and marginalized communities. Second, data privacy safeguards. And third, a robust legal strategy with those local civil society partners. Once we draft that, we can circle back if we still want a comparative piece. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, that structure is solid. Let's build a proposal around those three pillars for Kenya's Maisha Namba. 1. Reaching rural and marginalized communities. Mobile registration units for nomadic and remote areas, scrapping all fees, alternative proof of identity for people without birth certificates, and community-led registration drives with local leaders. About 5 million Kenyans, especially in border and pastoralist communities, are at risk of being locked out. 2. Data privacy safeguards. Mandate a proper public data protection impact assessment before scaling. Limit data centralization where possible. Add strict rules on who can access the biometric database with judicial oversight, and give people real rights to access, correct, and delete their data. 3. Robust legal strategy with local partners. Team up directly with groups like Hakina Sharia Initiative, Katiba Institute, Nubian Rights Forum, and Kenya Human Rights Commission, who've already filed petitions. Support their ongoing court cases, push for constitutional safeguards against ethnic profiling, and build an independent oversight. This gives us a focused, actionable proposal we can actually share. Want me to start drafting a short outline or a one-pager with these points?
Yes, absolutely. I think a one-pager would be perfect, tight, focused, and easy to circulate. Once you have a first draft, I can help refine it or add any supporting details you think might strengthen the case. Go for it.
Here's a tight one-pager draft for Kenya's Maisha Namba, inclusive and rights-based rollout of Kenya's Maisha Namba digital ID system. Kenya is rapidly scaling Maisha Namba, a lifelong unique identifier linked to biometrics, the Maisha card, digital ID, and a centralized population register. While the system promises efficiency, it risks repeating past failures, excluding roughly 5 million Kenyans, especially in rural, border, and historically marginalized communities, and creating serious data privacy vulnerabilities. 3 priority actions. 1. Reach rural and marginalized communities. Deploy mobile registration units to remote and nomadic areas. Eliminate all fees. Accept alternative forms of identification for those without birth certificates. And run community-led drives with local leaders. Special focus on border communities facing vetting discrimination to prevent locking them out of services like health, education, banking, and voting. 2. Strengthen data privacy safeguards. Require a comprehensive, public data protection impact assessment before full rollout. Limit unnecessary data collection and centralization. Establish strict access controls with judicial oversight, and guarantee individuals clear rights to access, correct, and delete their personal data. 3. Partner on a robust legal strategy. Collaborate directly with Kenyan civil society groups already leading on this: Hakina Sharia Initiative, Katiba Institute, Nubian Rights Forum, Kenya Human Rights Commission, and others. Support ongoing constitutional petitions, push for stronger legislative protections, and ensure independent oversight of the system. Implementing these measures will help Maisha Namba fulfill its potential as a tool for inclusion rather than exclusion. We welcome partnership with government, civil society, and international actors to get this right. What do you think? Want to tweak the language, add a specific stat, or change the tone anywhere?
I really like the flow. I think it's super clear. If anything, maybe add a statistic on the potential economic or social impact, like what being excluded means for access to education or financial services. Or we could add a line emphasizing how inclusion here ties to Kenya's broader development goals, like Vision 2030. Does that sound like a good tweak, or do you prefer to keep it simple?
Sounds like a good tweak. Here's the updated one-pager with a stronger impact line and a nod to Kenya's development goals. Inclusive and rights-based rollout of Kenya's Maisha Namba digital ID system. Kenya is rapidly scaling Maisha Namba, a lifelong unique identifier linked to biometrics, the Maisha card, digital ID, and a centralized population register. While the system promises efficiency, it risks excluding roughly 5 million Kenyans, especially in rural, border, and historically marginalized communities. Without an ID, over 2 million adults are locked out of financial services like banking and M-Pesa. Students cannot register for national exams or access education loans, and families lose access to healthcare and social support. This directly undermines Kenya's Vision 2030 goals of economic inclusion and equitable development. 3 priority actions. 1. Reach rural and marginalized communities. Deploy mobile registration units to remote and nomadic areas. Eliminate all fees, accept alternative forms of identification, and run community-led drives with local leaders. Special focus on border communities facing vetting discrimination. 2. Strengthen data privacy safeguards. Require a comprehensive, public data protection impact assessment before full rollout. Limit unnecessary data collection. Establish strict access controls with judicial oversight, and guarantee individuals clear rights to access, correct, and delete their data. 3. Partner on a robust legal strategy. Collaborate directly with Kenyan civil society groups, Haki na Sharia Initiative, Katiba Institute, Nubian Rights Forum, Kenya Human Rights Commission, and others. Support ongoing constitutional petitions, push for stronger legislative protections, and ensure independent oversight. Getting these measures right will turn Maisha Namba into a genuine tool for inclusion instead of a barrier. We welcome partnership with government, civil society, and international actors to make it work for every Kenyan. How's that feel? Want any adjustments to the impact paragraph or the closing line?
That feels really strong. The impact paragraph hits hard, especially with those concrete examples. The closing line is also great, inviting partnership and a shared vision. I think we're good to go. If you need me to format or help distribute it, just say the word.
Perfect. I'm glad you like it. We're all set with a clean, strong one-pager. If you want to push this forward, we could reach out to one of the civil society groups we mentioned, maybe Haki na Sharia or the Nubian Rights Forum, and share it with them for feedback. Want me to draft a short professional email we could send to introduce the proposal, or are you thinking of another angle?
Yes, that sounds like a great next step. A concise, professional email would be perfect. Just a brief intro, a line on why their input matters, and the attached one-pager. I can draft that for you. Give me a sense of who the main contact is or if you need a more general approach, and I'll tailor it.